Welcome to PCMRP's video tutorial series. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate PCMRP's Invoice module. For accounting, the Invoice module is critical when evaluating an accounting package. So let's look at some of the key features PCMRP's Invoice module provides. You can select modules and invoices to view the Invoice module's main menu. Select New to invoice a sales order. PCMRP will automatically load all of the data from the sales order into the invoice. You can invoice the sales order for the full quantity or a partial quantity. If you invoice a partial quantity, later on, you can create another invoice to ship the sales order's remaining quantities. Select Edit to edit an existing invoice. If you were to edit the quantity, PCMRP will offer to correct the parts quantity in inventory and the sales order's quantity shipped. Select Print to display, print, send to PDF, and email invoices. You can use PCMRP's report writer to add your company logo, barcode, and other fields to create custom invoice templates. Select Reports to send invoice reports to display, print, PDF, or Excel. You can create custom invoice, report, and label templates with PCMRP's report writer. You can use PCMRP's report writer to add your company logo, barcode, and other fields to create custom invoice report templates. PCMRP's Invoice module works with PCMRP's Integrated Accounting module. PCMRP can also interface with QuickBooks Pro, Premier and Enterprise accounting modules. PCMRP's Invoice module can integrate with PCMRP's optional alternate currency, serial lot number, audit trail, and inspection modules. PCMRP's Invoice module can process credit cards without you or your employees ever seeing a customer's credit card number. This means your company would be 100% PCI compliant. This means your company would never be directly liable for a credit card breach. Enough talk, let's get started. To create an invoice, I will select Modules, Invoices, and New. I will press the Scroll button to get my sales order. I'll select Sales Order 000105. I will select the main store's warehouse that it will be shipped from. I will select On Account, meaning they will pay as per our agreed upon terms. Since this is a blanket sales order, I will just invoice the first two line items on the order sales order. I will invoice the other line items when they are scheduled to be shipped. Notice I can modify the quantity, sale price, tax, freight, and discount. I can make those modifications in the next screen, so I will press the Next button. Now I have my invoice number. Notice that all of the information is automatically filled in from the sales order. By clicking on the displayed currency, I can see my unit sales price that we agreed upon. Base currency happens to be my base currency. If I am shipping out of country, I can click on the displayed currency and display the unit sales price in my customer's currency. If the base currency is my customer's currency, both currencies would be displayed on the invoice. If I am not shipping the whole order, I can change quantities. Clicking on the Billing and Shipping tab displays the billing and shipping addresses. Clicking on the Delivery tab allows me to enter and display tracking number. If I were to edit the invoice later, and click on the Track button, PCMRP will display where the package is and who signed for it. Clicking on the Account Info tab displays the Sales Tax Code, the salesman and his commission, the cost that will be debited and credited when the invoice is posted. If the chart of accounts are blank, PCMRP's accounting module will automatically debit and credit your default AR, income accounts, cost of goods sold, freight out, and sales tax liability accounts. Pressing the Customer tab to get back to the main invoice screen. Pressing the Next button will display the next line item. Pressing the Add Item button would allow you to add a line item. Pressing the Delete button will allow you to mark this line item for deletion. Pressing the Items and Notes button will display all your line items and the totals. You can add any notes to the boilerplate at the bottom of the invoice. Pressing the OK button will save your invoice. PCMRP will insert a capital Y in the complete field of the sales order if the sales order line has been invoiced in full. It will automatically decrease the quantities on demand and quantities on hand in the inventory module. It will now allow me to print out the invoice, shipper, and/or shipping labels. I will select the print invoice and the shipper and press the OK button. I can select to display, print, or email this invoice as a PDF file. Please note if I select email as PDF, PC/MRP will automatically use Outlook to email the invoice to your customer. Notice I can even attach additional PDF documents to the invoice. I will select display. I will select my custom invoice that has my logo. And press the OK button. FYI, when the customer pays the invoice in full and you are using PC MRPs for accounting module, the invoice will automatically contain a paid in full watermark. Clicking on the X box at the top of the screen will bring up the shipper menu. I will select display and press the OK button to display the shipper. Here we can see the quantity ordered, the quantity shipped, and the back-ordered quantity. I will click on the X box at the top of my screen to continue. I will click on No, I do not want to enter another invoice. Let's make our way back to the main menu. Editing invoices. You can edit an invoice by selecting modules, Invoice, and Edit. I will select my invoice and press the OK button. I am going to reduce the invoice quantity by 1 and press the OK button. PCMRP offers to automatically adjust the quantity shipped in the sales order. PCMRP also offers to automatically adjust the on-hand quantity and on the on-demand quantity in the inventory module. Let's make our way back to the main menu. Printing and reprinting invoices. I will select Modules, Invoice, and Print. Once again I will select Display. Notice my invoice's quantity now contains the reduced quantity. This function allows you to print and reprint invoices. Let's make our way back to the main menu. Invoice Reports. To print or display invoice reports, select Invoices and Reports. I could select all invoice records, all invoices for a part number, all invoices for a customer. I am going to select all invoice records. For range I am going to select all records entered in a date range. I previously set configuration, settings, and utilities, option 12, default invoice report date range to the past year. So I will leave it as is. I can also select Open and Closed Invoices. Open only, which would be unpaid invoices only. Closed only, which means paid invoices only. Overdue invoices. I am going to select Open and Closed Invoices. Credit memo only would mean only display credit memos. I could sort by invoice number, part number, date entered, due date, customer PO number. I will select to sort by invoice number. I could select Send Report to Display, Print, PDF, or Excel. For this demonstration I will select Display. I could select the standard or a custom report. I will select standard. If I wanted PCMRP to save my settings for invoice reports, I could check the Save Settings checkbox. The next time I want to print out an invoice report, my choices will be preset. Pushing the OK button will display my report. Pressing Ctrl F12 displays the primary and child databases providing the data for this report. This would be handy if you wanted to create a custom invoice report template. For example, if you wanted to include the on-hand quantity in stores, you could use option 24 and create a partmast.onhand field. Of course, you would probably have to give up something to get something. If I go to the end of the report, I can see my total dollar amount for the time period I selected. Well, I hope I have shown you how PCMRP can help you easily and efficiently manage your company. Thank you for watching.